So it's probably easy to tell that this is one of my personal vehicles with all the stuff that's still in it, like the Tesla. But my girlfriend cleaned it out. So she said she did. It's cleaner than it usually is, but that's what all that stuff is rumbling around in the back. I will say, which I have a lot to say about this car because I know it like the back of my hand. The hybrid powertrain, it has its good and bad, but I like it because you don't have a CVT, and that really makes a big difference, you know, when you want to use these paddle shifters. But also just how you're able to drive it is a lot more controlled as opposed to relying on just the CVT giving it power. You have shift points when you're using the engine. That in turn also charges the battery. So just really, really great performance. And then we can put the auto hold on. So I'll let my foot off the brake and it won't roll away. So when you're light with your foot, you can actually get this thing up to speed just using the electric motor in the battery when it's charged up enough. But for driving where I am, that's kind of difficult to do. But especially when you get below that eco point, a lot of the times you can put it on cruise and it'll go into EV mode. And then especially when you're decelerating or using the regen brakes, it'll go into EV mode as well. And it'll tell you when it's just the engine and when it's actually just using the electric motor. To help with efficiency, of course. I'm just gonna go this way. Another thing I really like about this car is the steering. I really like, for the kind of vehicle that it is, how easy it is to drive. And not only the steering, but also just the throttle response. Now with it being a hybrid, sometimes it can give a little bit too much power to the engine, but you're also charging the battery with that power as well, so it's never really 100% wasted. And this is the lane keeping system here. It's keeping the vehicle in the lines. It's definitely, which the vehicle will tell you to keep your hands on the wheel, but I definitely recommend keeping your hands on, especially in the city, because it is a bit buggy compared to a Tesla or something like that, but that's to be expected. But all in all, a pretty good system for a vehicle that's stickers around $33,000, $34,000. And honestly, this is supposed to get 39 mpg in the city, 35 on the highway. I've experienced more of 41 or 42 in the city and around 33 on the highway. But also, I tend to go over the speed limit. So if you're keeping 70, you might be able to get that 35 on the interstate. But really good MPG numbers. And for something that, when you need power, it's quick for the segment. It really is, especially for a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. That turbo really does do its thing. And the sound system For it to be a bass system in a Kia, it's actually really good. I haven't had any blown speakers or anything, and I like to keep my music pretty loud. But I would definitely, if possible, either upgrade the speakers or go with maybe aftermarket speakers, just because I'm a sound guy. So most people will not be bothered by it because, like I said, it's a good system for the money. And I'm glad we get to see how this does in the rain. It hasn't rained all day till I got in this car. But I'll pull up the, yeah, it shows you the energy flow here. So it shows how the battery and the engine are actually providing power to the front wheels. And then when it brakes, the wheels light up and show you how it's regenerating to the battery. And then where your tachometer would normally be on a regular car, the left dial actually shows your kind of eco driving, your charge when you're hitting the brakes, and then when you get above that eco mode, just how much power you're actually getting from the powertrain. But another good thing about this car is just how sloped the hood is. I feel like if I'm about to hit something, I can kind of see if I look over like that, because it's not an overly obtrusive hood. It's not up and out where you can't really see if you're about to hit something or not. Which for me wouldn't really be a big problem, but for a lot of drivers, especially my lady, she likes being able to see down on the hood. She doesn't like having a big hood because she feels like she's gonna hit something. So this is one of the reasons that she went with this vehicle. And visibility is actually pretty good. Not huge blind spots, but this one does come standard with your blind spot monitor, so won't be an issue there. And they light up red, so it makes it really clear if something's in your blind spot, as opposed to the dim yellow ones that you get on most vehicles. And my girl had a RAV4 before she ended up getting this Sorento hybrid. And one thing that this smokes the RAV4 in is just overall handling for me. I feel like this is easier to drive, more engaging to drive, but also the braking is good. The gas pedal feel is good. And with the 2.5 liter and the 6-speed automatic in that RAV4, it definitely was a trusty powertrain. I can't really say that for these because I don't know much about them and they're fairly new, but they just drive. I just don't like how they drive. And you had a sport mode in the RAV4, which would definitely over enunciate that 6-speed, but it still just wasn't engaging. So this, I feel, is a lot better in that sense. we get back out onto this road, this main road, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into sport mode. And even though it's raining, we should be able to test out the acceleration. I'm gonna put it in sport mode now. And then I'll even test out the paddle so we can see how that does. And then to get it out of the manual mode, you can just hold on to the upshift and it'll toggle it off. But it actually had a little wheel spin there in the sport mode, which I haven't experienced in this vehicle yet. Except this one time at Walmart I did that, I remember now. But it has power, it really does. I think this has like 225 or 235, something like that. It's 200 something horsepower, and you really do feel it when you're maxing that turbo out. And most people, with this being a hybrid, probably won't use it for that, but it's definitely nice to have if you need to accelerate for whatever reason. So all in all, definitely, I wouldn't say a really good car for the money in this market now, because dealers are charging $5 grand over sticker and you're paying $2 grand over sticker to get a used one. But in a normal day and age for buying cars, especially with rebates and whatnot, getting this for mid-30s is not bad at all. You have all the technology you could want other than the adaptive cruise, and it's just a good driving car that will save you money at the pump. It really will. I'm gonna gas it one good time. And as you can see, pretty quick. But this is going to bring me to an end of my review of the 2021 Kia Sorento Hybrid S.